Good evening, everybody. My name is Diana Hindi. My presentation, I chose the article, Understanding Strengths and Challenges of People with Autism, Insights from Parents and Practitioners, written by Santoshi Halder, Susan Marie Grael, and Wendy Strobel Gower. This is the general overview of the article. The article focused on the strengths and challenges that individuals with ASD face. The study drew from the perceptions of 20 people, 13 parents, and 7 practitioners. Its aim was to bridge the existing gap between the identification of strengths and addressing of challenges so as to implement strength-based approaches to assist individuals with autism. The article emphasizes the importance of recognizing and nurturing strengths in individuals with autism, moving away from the deficit-focused approach. It was noted that the rising prevalence of the ASD globally and the corresponding challenges in employment opportunities for adults with autism were significant trends discussed. The authors expressed concern over the underemployment of individuals with autism, despite a growing acceptance and willingness from some companies to hire them, which is a little bit unfortunate. These are the key themes that I extracted from the study. The strengths identified, The strengths identified included exceptional memory. Most of these individuals with autism have an exceptional memory, artistic creativity, mathematical aptitude, heightened visual perception, and musical ability. And some of the identified challenges included rigidity in interests, processing difficulties, limited support structures in schools, and social communication barriers. The established support needs include personalized teaching learning strategies, early identification of strengths, as well as home-school collaborations. Now, the study underscores the importance of recognition of strengths and challenges faced by individuals with autism to enable effective support systems. And the study recommends an adoption of strength-based interventions instead of the current literature on autism that underscores deficit-focused approach. These were the perspectives of the authors. Call them their opinions in a summary. The authors believed that individuals with autism shouldn't be only looked at in the angle of being disabled, but they ought to be considered as a condition with different mental behavioral characteristics, which can be nurtured. The authors also critique the existing deficit-centered approach, and therefore they propose a more balanced framework to support individuals with autism. Authors further underscore the importance of the interdependence of strengths and challenges. They advocated that strengths and challenges ought to be leading way for interventions. That is Halder et al. 2022. You can find this information on page 75. They indicated that homeschool collaboration is essential in fostering of developmental positive outcomes. The authors identified the role of identifying markers of strength early enough for effective interventions. They also highlight the importance of teachers. They highlight how important it is for teachers to be trained in other teaching methodologies that are customized to supporting children with autism. And this is information that can be picked on page 79 of their article. Now, these were my reactions and my opinions. I agree with the author's views, especially in advocating for a strength-based approach. For oftentimes, most of the academic interventions mainly focus on mitigating deficits rather than depending on strengths. Also, the study further underscores the effectiveness of ways in which talent can be a memory, an art, a mathematics that can be nurtured irrespective of the challenges. However, I disagree with the valuable insights that these authors gave, for they only based their study on a small sample and yet focused on participants based in the US. I would rather that insights from other cultural backgrounds like developing states, including the country where I am, Uganda, would enrich the study. And besides the study findings, they don't sufficiently give us evidence of how the strengths translate into employable skills and outcomes besides the subjective evidence in the article. I would also challenge any notion suggesting that strengths alone are sufficient without addressing the structural barriers that individuals with autism often face in educational and employment settings. Now, these are my recommendations and my for future consideration. Now, educational institutions ought to integrate customized learning plans so as to capitalize the strengths of these children with ASD. Educators also need to be trained and equipped with skills that are specific autism strategies. Educational institutions need to consider creating programs that would involve parents to co-facilitate in the successful learning journey of their children. I highly recommend that parents be involved in these programs. Schools should create structured programs that involve parents as co-facilitators in their children's learning journeys. Now, besides the standardized tests, schools should also provide alternative assessment strategies in order to capture and develop the capabilities of students with autism. I had an interesting read. I would recommend the same to you, that if you would read this to learn more about how to deal with students with autism spectrum disorder. Those are my references. Thank you so much.